Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a breast cancer awareness ribbon. For this project, I start by centering the shirt using the sleeve inside the other sleeve technique. I do have a quick little tutorial that is just focused on nothing but centering the shirt, so if you're not familiar with this method, I recommend that you check out that tutorial. So that's looking pretty good. Everything is lined up and all the wrinkles are smoothed out the best that I can. So then I drew my pattern on using a washable marker, but I want the design to only be on the front of the shirt, so I isolate that out. So what you see me pleating right here is only the front of the shirt. Everything else that's up at the top of the screen is the back of the shirt. And you want to make really small pleats if you can. I'd say these pleats are a 1/2 inch or smaller. Notice how nice and straight my pink line is. That's what you're looking for. So when you're pleating, you want to keep that line out in front of you. That way, when you're finished, everything lines up perfectly. So I'm using my sinew puller and matching caddy set that I got from Jen over at www.boredomwithjen.com. I'm going to use the sinew because I want to create a nice white line. So I wrap it around 3 times and I pull it really tight, and then I wrap it around 3 more times and pull it even tighter. And because I want a nice wide white line, I wrap it around several more times. And you want to check the back to make sure that your sinew is overlapping on top of itself. That way the dye isn't going to creep up and, make weird spots in your sinew. Next, I took my washable marker and I filled in the tail portion of the ribbon. This way I can just keep track of it through the entire process. Not a necessary step, but it just helped me visualize things. So now you need to fold the fabric over, and I took my washable marker and I traced out the line so that I have something that I can see, that I can pleat. I go back up to the top part of the ribbon and I just continue making those really small pleats. And I'm just going to let you watch this. It's easier for you to see it, I think, than it is for me to explain it. I do apologize that my head is in the shot. You can still see what I'm doing, but I would have preferred it if I wasn't in the shot. I had to really stick my nose down in there so I could see what I was doing. These are tiny little pleats and I'm making some really sharp turns, so I had to get right up on it so I could see what I was doing. I will definitely make another tutorial. But this being October and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I really wanted to share this with you guys because I'm very proud of this shirt. It turns out absolutely amazing. Just like the first line, I'm going to secure it by using sinew. So I'm going to wrap it around 3 times, pull it tight, wrap it around 3 more times, pull it even tighter, and then just continue wrapping it until I feel like I've achieved a nice thick sinew line so that I have a nice wide white line when it's all done. I just want to remind you guys that there is 10% off over at boredomwithjen.com. You got to go on the website though, not the Etsy. So www.boredomwithjen.com. Use the coupon code Belladonna and you can get 10% off of your order. It expires on Halloween, so 10/31 of 2022. So if you're interested in getting yourself a sinew puller and matching caddy set, I highly recommend that you take advantage of the coupon code before it expires. And then I just also want to say happy birthday to my mother. Mom, I hope you have a wonderful day. Now that the pattern is all secure and tied up, it's time to move on to the rest of the shirt. So we're going to be finishing off the rest of the front of the shirt, the back of the shirt, and the sleeves. And I'm just going to do a simple pleat all the way down the rest of the shirt. So this is where for me it comes in very handy to center the shirt in the beginning. I've seen a lot of people that just isolate out the front of the shirt, do their pattern, and then worry about the back half of the shirt later. I don't like to do it that way. See, everything is lined up and matchy-matchy right now, so we're gonna get a really good final symmetrical outcome. So I'm using my tiny baby hair rubber bands and my second favorite rubber bands, whichever work. And I do have links down below in the description box for everything that I use, so make sure that you check that out. I use the tiny baby hair rubber bands just to sort of keep things contained, and then I'm going to mark out with a washable marker where the design actually is, so it'll help me keep my dye placement on track. So now it's time for the fun part. We get to add the dye, and for my ribbon I'm using Hot Pink October Breast Cancer Awareness. This is what I'm doing. And then I'm going to make the shirt into a rainbow because those are my favorite colors. I'm applying the hot pink pretty heavy-handed because it's been my experience with ice dyeing. It's one of those colors that wants to disappear. So a nice thick layer of dye. The next color is Razzle Dazzle, and it's such a fun color to say, and it really is pretty. I don't use it often enough. I forget about it, but it's a fun one. So I'm placing the Razzle Dazzle on both sides of the pink part of the ribbon. I want it to create sort of like a halo effect around it. And then I'm going to add baby pink at the very tippity top of the incline because I want the very center of the shirt to sort of have like a gradient effect, like a glowing look. And I kind of mix the Razzle Dazzle and the baby pink, like where they touch up against one another. I want to sort of blur that line. And then for the rest of the shirt, I'm just going to do rainbow colors like you've seen me do a whole bunch of times. This project is on a very slight incline, so I'm using one of my long under the bed type totes and then my closet made rack, And I have the top of the Closet Made rack propped up with these big empty yogurt containers. And then down inside the bottom of the Incline, down inside the tote, I have it propped up with like a little tiny Tupperware container. Then the project is surrounded by the silicone cake molds as the ice barrier, and holding the ice barrier in place is the clothespins. So everything is really buttoned down, and it's just a very slight incline. That way you just get a little bit of die movement. With a lemon yellow, I'm making that stripe a little bit wider than I do all the other colors because for me, I don't have much luck with it. Whenever I work with yellows, they vanish. Does that happen to you guys? With my greens and blues, I'm using a light shade and a dark shade. And if we go all the way back up to the top, so I'm doing Razzle Dazzle, which is like a magenta color, and then going into the Scarlet Red, which is red. And then overlapping with the orange, that'll kind of create a red orange, then into orange. And then overlapping with the yellow will create a light orange and then into the yellow. And then moving down where the bright green and the yellow meet, it'll be like a limey green, then a green, and so on. So the bright green into the emerald green, and then the Caribbean blue or Caribbean blue into the cerulean blue. I think it just creates a really beautiful effect. You know, with liquid dyeing, you have a lot more control and you can really do some awesome things, but you also can make some really beautiful projects by using ice dyeing. You just have to play around with it like I am here. And then I'm going to finish it off with deep purple, one of my favorite purples. Now that I have the dye on the project just the way that I like it, I have chosen to use my ice cube trays from the dollar store. I don't want to knock any of the dye loose and have dye where I don't want it to be, especially up around the design. I want the hot pink to stay hot pink and the Razzle Dazzle to stay Razzle Dazzle. No mixtures. I am so jealous of you guys that have like the fridge freezer combination where you have those little moon-shaped ice cubes. I would totally be using those right now if I had them. But I'm just going to add my ice, and I do recommend that it's probably a good idea if you were to wear gloves at this point, because dye just creeps right up the ice cubes straight to my fingertips. I give the project a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure, and then I backfill it by using my Frigidaire nugget ice machine. And you guys, Christmas is coming up, so I highly recommend that you ask your partners to get you one of these machines. I am loving this new machine. And then it's recommended that you let your project batch at 70 degrees or higher for at least 24 hours after the ice melts. And I can tell you that this project batched for about 3 days. Now it's time for the rinse out. You want to start by using cold water to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric. You want to get all of that soda ash out because you don't want your dark colors to redeposit onto your light areas. And you don't want to take a bunch of soda ash into your washing machine. Once you rinse really well, getting all that soda ash out, you want to increase your water up to hot and rinse until the water runs pretty much clear. So the hot water removes all the unbonded dye so it can go down your drain instead of into the washing machine. Makes sense, right? Get out all the soda ash, get out all the unbonded dye. So from here, I take it to the washing machine, and I like to do hot water cycles using Cerulean. Cerulean is a professional textile detergent. And then I like to do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft, and Millsoft is a professional fabric softener, and it just brings softness back into the fabric after the dyeing process. And then I put it in the dryer, and I'll iron it, and we'll come back and we'll see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our breast cancer awareness ribbon after it's been washed and dried. And I'm really pleased with the outcome of this one. I think it turned out so beautiful. And I achieved everything that I set out to do. This was my first one. I did not know if it was going to turn out, and it turned out better than I had expected. I have that halo of the Razzle Dazzle around the ribbon like I wanted. You can definitely tell that this is an awareness ribbon. The sinew lines look great. The rainbow looks great. The pleats are all great. Like, everything just turned out amazing. And on the back, I wasn't expecting to have any type of design. I just wanted to have some nice pleats, but it's like a 3/4 spine on the back. So it's just like a bonus design on the back of the shirt. I'm just super duper happy, and I hope you guys like it. And I just want you to know that these are not hard to do, and I will make another tutorial, and hopefully that'll just be a little more straightforward and easy to follow along. But what do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing!